Welcome to day 9 of our 40 Days of Strangers on the Way. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to Kellan. Kellan is a stranger that I met down in Urbana-Champaign in Illinois at a conference over lunch. And the story is so divinely orchestrated by God, I believe. And it's one of my all-time favorite stranger stories. So I'm so excited to introduce you to Kellan, a lunchtime stranger, conquering social anxiety. I pray that you, being rooted and grounded in love, may have strength to grasp how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ, and to know this love that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled with all of the fullness of God. Ephesians 3, verse 17 to 19. I spent the past week at an awesome training conference for work. The team leading us raved about restaurants in the area, so I was excited to explore when it came to lunchtime the first day. On a whim, I asked God, where should I go to lunch today? And scrolled through restaurant reviews on Google. My phone literally froze when I landed on a particular restaurant, so I took that as a sign from God and hopped in my car. I ordered my Reuben sandwich stacked with thinly sliced corned beef and sat on the restaurant's back patio. It was a neat space because of all the restaurants on the street had connected back patios. After I got my food, I asked God, why did you pick this restaurant? An older man walked outside and commented on the beautiful day. So I asked God, is he why you sent me here? The man seemed comfortable alone, however, so I continued to eat my lunch. As I was finishing the sandwich, a guy about my age came walking over, directly to me. Hey, he said, my name is Kellan. His beard was a bit disheveled and I thought he was going to ask for money. But he said instead, I struggle with social anxiety, so I've been practicing talking to strangers. I thought that was so courageous, so we chatted for a bit and I invited him to join me at the table. After a few basic questions, where are you from? Where did you go to school? What do you do? I asked him about the social anxiety and his experience going up to strangers. I imagined he had some pretty cool interactions and possibly some difficult ones too. He said most people were nice, nothing earth-shattering had happened, but that the practice was really helping him step out of his fear. I was amazed at his bravery. I noticed a tattoo on his wrist that said, "Pain is weakness turning into strength." I thought it was so cool. And it reminded me of the verse in the Bible, my grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. I asked him about his tattoo and the story behind it. He shared a little bit about the challenges in his life, but also some of the good things too. His eyes lit up when he talked about his passion for music. The parking meter where I left my car was about to expire, so I asked Kellan if I could pray for him and his journey before I left. He said yes, and I prayed. I don't remember the words, but my heart overflowed with love. When I finished, Kellan looked a bit stunned. He said, I've never heard someone with such passion and strength like that. So I shared with him how I felt like God spoke the words through me, how I felt like God led me to that restaurant that day, how I thought the reason was just so I could meet him, and that God sees him and deeply loves him and will send a girl who lives 3 hours away to a specific place on a random Monday afternoon just to show him that he's there for him, that he sees what he's going through, that he cares. I told Kellan that I didn't know his faith journey, but that Christianity is all about love. Jesus is love, and he pursues us just like he did today. I told him about a church in the area, and he said, well, if this is what Jesus is like, I want to go. With a big smile and a big hug, and a parking meter that was expired for 10 minutes. Sorry, law enforcement. We departed, both of us overflowing with joy. There's a song that's out called Reckless Love. In it, the songwriter writes, oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. The line refers to a Bible verse. If a man has 100 sheep and one of them has gone astray, does he not leave the 99 on the mountains and go in the search of the one that went astray? Matthew 18:12. That's God's heart for all of us. His love goes to great lengths to find us every single day. Let's wonder. Reflect on your own life and ask God to remind you of someone who has pursued you. Perhaps it's someone who comforted you when you were going through a difficult season, someone who showed you love when you didn't deserve it. Perhaps it's a teacher or a coach, or maybe a family member or friend. Think about them and take some time to write about how they cared for you. Reflect on your own life and ask God to remind you of someone who has pursued you. Holy Spirit, presence of God, I pray you just bring someone to mind right now who's pursued the person listening to this, who's gone to great lengths to see them, to love them, to honor them. God, would you bring that person to mind? Bring those memories to mind right now. And then let's activate. Sit in your chair or lay down if you can and take 5 deep breaths. In and out. In and out. In and out. I want you to bring that specific person or memory to your mind again. And let the way that they loved you sink deeper in your heart. Remember how it felt to be cherished, thought of, or fought for. Remember how it felt to be cherished, thought of, or fought for. Yeah, sit in those moments. And after a few minutes, I invite you to replace that person's face with the face of Jesus. His eyes locked on you, smiling a big grin. And as you see Jesus, as you imagine him in that place, in that memory or moment, I invite you to ask him how he is pursuing you today. Jesus, you can ask, how are you pursuing me today? Recently, I had an experience where I really wanted these chairs from a place that had closed that reminded me of my dad, who passed away a couple years ago. And I really, really wanted these chairs. And I posted on social media just the desire of my heart. And this woman ended up emailing me, messaging me on social media, messaging me through my website, kind of commentary email submission platform. She went to great lengths to let me know that she saw that these chairs were available for auction. And I felt so like pursued. And it was just a stranger. She just heard my story and it moved her, and she did everything she could to let me know that the chairs were available. And I ended up getting a chance to connect with her. And as that was all happening, I felt God say, I love to prove to my people that I go to great lengths to love them. Like, I love to prove to my people that I go to great lengths to love them. And the biggest is the life of Jesus, his pursuit of us, his sacrifice so that we wouldn't have to live with sin or shame anymore, that we wouldn't have to live any on our own, in our own strength, in our own way, that we can actually be empowered by him and his spirit every single day and guided by him. And Jesus's pursuit of us is so big, but he pursues us like that woman did with me, through other people and in just different ways, letting us know that he sees us. And so my prayer for you today is just that you would feel him, that you would know that there's a target on your back for his love and his affection. And throughout your day, that those moments, big and small, where you're seen and noticed and treasured, that you would know that that's Jesus's pursuit of you. He loves to pursue his kids. He loves to remind us how connected we are. He loves it. And so let's yield together. You matter to God. You matter infinitely more than you could ever think or imagine. His love for you is deep. It is strong. It is mighty. He longs to fill all of the gaps that you feel are missing. He longs to fill you up with love and hope and joy. Pour your heart out to him today. He treasures your thoughts. He honors your tears and your pain and your laughter and your joy. He treasures everything about you. And just as Jesus pursued us in the greatest way 2,000 years ago, he continues to pursue you every day of your life. Keep your eyes open for the ways he's pursuing you today.